There's a moment in your financial life when the game completely flips. One day, you're grinding, saving, investing, and it feels like you're moving in slow motion. And then suddenly, your money starts growing faster than you can. You wake up and realize your investments made more overnight than you did all week. That's not luck. That's the mathematical tipping point of wealth. Hi, I'm David, and I've spent years studying why most people never reach that moment. That shift where your money stops crawling and starts sprinting. Because here's the truth, wealth doesn't grow in a straight line. It doesn't rise neatly like your paycheck. It grows like a snowball rolling down a mountain, tiny and slow at first, then suddenly unstoppable. And here's the wild part, there are 3 specific milestones where that snowball explodes in size. 3 levels where your net worth starts working harder than you do. Hit these points and wealth building stops being a grind. It becomes inevitable. These milestones aren't random. They're backed by cold, unromantic math. The first happens when your investments hit $100,000. The second at roughly $650,000. And the third at $1 million, when money itself becomes a force that moves faster than time. But most people never even reach the first one. Not because they can't, but because they misunderstand how money grows. See, people assume if you're 10% of the way to $1 million, you're 10% closer to success. But that's a lie. The first $100,000 isn't 10% of your journey. It's the hardest 90%. Because at the start, you're the one pushing the snowball uphill. Every dollar you invest feels heavy. Every gain feels microscopic. And that's the moment most people give up, right before the magic begins. So let's break it down. How long does it really take for that first tipping point to happen? And why does everything accelerate after that? Let's say you start investing $500 every month. Nothing crazy, just the cost of a few dinners, a couple of subscriptions, or some impulse buys that don't really move your life forward. You stay consistent, and your money earns a modest 7% annual return. Here's where it gets interesting. That first $100,000 takes almost 8 years to get there. 8 years of feeling like nothing's happening. 8 years where you are doing all the heavy lifting, showing up, investing, staying patient while your money just stretches and yawns. Out of that first $100,000, about $46,000 comes from your pocket. The other $54,000, that's growth, returns on your money. That's your cash quietly working while you sleep, eat, and go to work. But here's the twist that nobody talks about. Once you cross that $100,000 line, is that everything changes, because now your money starts earning more money than your effort ever could. The same $500 you were putting in before suddenly becomes rocket fuel. To double your wealth from $100,000 to $200,000 doesn't take another 8 years. It takes about five years, and boom, your net worth doubles. That's the moment you realize wealth isn't built by working harder. It's built by waiting longer. At $200,000, your contributions matter less than your returns. Your investments are now making tens of thousands every year. Not because you did more, but because you stayed consistent when everyone else quit. And that's the moment your mindset begins to shift. You stop asking, how fast can I make money? And start asking, how long can I let my money work for me? Because from here, things don't just grow. They accelerate. It's no longer a grind. It's momentum. By year 18, with the same $500 a month, your balance crosses $400,000. You've put in about $108,000 of your own money, but your account, it's worth almost 4 times that. That's compound interest fully awake, and it's hungry. At this stage, you're earning $25,000 to $30,000 per year from your investments alone. That's passive income equal to a second salary. Hell, the worries without extra hours, stress, or burnout. And you know what's even crazier? You're not even halfway through the real transformation yet. Because once you hit that next level, around $650,000, your money doesn't just grow, it starts replacing your income. At around $650,000, something life-changing happens. You stop checking your investment app every week out of anxiety. You start checking it out of curiosity because now your money is earning roughly $50,000 a year all by itself. That's almost the average US household income without you lifting a single finger. And that's when your relationship with work completely changes. You're no longer trading hours for dollars. You're trading time for meaning. Losing your job isn't a crisis anymore. It's an inconvenience. You can take a month off, pivot careers, or finally start that business idea you've been scared to try. Because you know something most people never get to feel. You have a financial cushion that catches you when life pushes back. At $650,000, you've achieved what I call functional freedom. You're not retired, but you finally get to choose. Choose the work you want. Choose the risks you take. Choose to live on your terms. And here's the best part. If you just keep doing what you've been doing, that next milestone becomes inevitable. By year 29, your balance crosses $1 million. $1 million. And when you see that number for the first time, something deep inside you shifts. It's not about feeling rich. It's about feeling safe. It's realizing that your discipline, your patience, your quiet consistency, they actually worked. You've built a machine that prints time because every dollar in that account is now a tiny worker earning, compounding, multiplying, even while you rest. And from there, it gets wild. Like going from $1 million to $2 million takes less time than it took you to earn your first $100,000. That's the beauty of exponential growth. Once it starts rolling, it doesn't stop. And this is what the wealthy understand. Money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies what you've built. So if you're still in that first slow stretch, feeling like every dollar is crawling uphill, keep going, because the uphill struggle is temporary, but the downhill momentum lasts for decades. The only question is, 29 years from now, will you be grateful you started or wishing you had? If this hit you, make sure to like this video and subscribe because we're just getting started.